Hi, I'm Matt Eland. I'll be walking you through how to build a game and learn C#. This is a self-guided workshop offered by Tech Elevator. I'm an instructor for Tech Elevator's Columbus campus, and I have a rich history in .NET and C# development. I've actually been working with C# since Beta 2 of the language back in 2001. Today I want to walk you through learning C# and really just how to build applications in C#, .NET, and Visual Studio. So in order to work through this lesson, you're going to need either a PC or a Mac and be able to download software from the internet. Alright, welcome to the fourth and final module of the How to Build a Game in C# and Learn C# workshop series. In this final module, we are going to be adding in a loop and actually generating a random number. When we're done, we're going to have a complete game where the computer will secretly pick a number between 1 and 100, and we're going to have to make guesses until we can correctly guess that number. Alright, so let's get started. So I'm going to start over here, really, by looking at this. So we have this line 39, loop until the player gets the answer right. Okay, well, I'm going to remove this comment for now because I'm actually going to be making code somewhere else. But what we really want to do when we step back and think about it is we want to have the user enter in a number, and until they get that number correct, until their guess is equal to the secret number, we want them to keep hearing if their guess is correct and allowing them to pick a different number. Okay, so there are a lot of different types of loops in C#, but the one that we want to work with today is actually one of the more simple ones, which is just the while loop. So the while loop looks like this. So I'm going to go down to line 13, and I'm going to say while, and then it needs something that's true or false, an expression just like an if statement, and then we need curly braces afterwards. I'm going to get rid of this ending curly brace here on line 16 because I actually want to put the ending curly brace after my if statement. So it's like this. So now I have a loop here that evaluates some condition, which we're going to come back to in a second here. We evaluate some condition, and we're going to keep looping until that condition is false. Okay? So the condition that we want to get to evaluate is whether or not the player has guessed the number. So while guess is not equal, that exclamation mark is not, while guess is not equal to the secret number, do my logic. So here, secret number is going to be 42. Until the end of this video anyway. At the very end of this video, we are going to actually generate the random number. But secret number is going to be 42 at the beginning, and guess is going to be 0. So while guess is not equal to the secret number, well, 0 is not equal to 42. So we're going to go through this loop. Now we're going to have the player enter a number. Okay. And then we're going to parse it. And then we're going to check it against what the actual number is, and we're going to print some messages. And then we're going to hit this line 41 that says, okay, well, you reached the end of the loop, go back to the beginning, check the condition. All right, is your new guess, the one that you put in line 24, is that equal to the secret number? If it's not, we're going to keep going. So this should loop until we actually guess that number. So let's give it a try. And this is going to be the first time where this is actually kind of playable as a game. Well, we know the number is 42, but we're going to pretend we don't. So I'm going to guess 50. You guess 50. Nope. The secret number is lower than your guess. Guess a number between 1 and 100. Well, I kind of want there to be an extra space there, so we'll fix that in a second. But guess a number between 1 and 100. Well, okay, if it's less than 50, and it's between 1 and 100, well, let's guess 25. Nope, secret number is greater than your guess. All right, well, I think maybe I'm feeling lucky about 37. Oh, it's greater than that. Oh, all right, well, let me try 42. I like that number. And hey, I guessed it, and the application will now close. And now it's closed. So the application will loop through, it'll follow our statements. So until that guess is 42, or is the secret number, we're going to keep going through this main game loop until the player has actually guessed the things correctly. All right. Now I wanted a blank line somewhere. So let's actually, at the end of this, console write line, just a blank line. So this way, things are going to be looking the way that I want them to when we run. Be spaced out properly. So the final piece that we need to do now is to actually generate this random number. So over here on line 10, I have secret number equals 42. Well, that's no bueno, right? We don't want it to be 42. We want it to be a random number. So we're going to need to use a class inside of the system namespace. This is a class that Microsoft provides to us. And when you hear class, don't think about like lectures and things like that. Think about just a piece of related functionality. It's kind of a more complex programming concept and object-oriented programming. But for now, just think of a class as kind of like this little bundle of something that you can work with, like console is for us here. All right. So this class is going to be called random. That's actually the name of the class that we're going to be working with, and we're going to call it randomizer. So I'm declaring a new variable named randomizer that is of type random. Okay, I'm going to say equals new random. It's suggesting that for me, and that's actually what I want. So this new keyword is a new one. No pun intended. Sorry, but this basically says like, hey, create a new random instance that we can work with. Again, don't worry too much about things with random. It's a little bit beyond the scope of this application. I just want you to have a random number to work with. So I'm cheating a little bit in introducing more complex concepts. So now on line 11, well, get rid of that comment, and we're not going to be setting it equal to 42 anymore. So I'm going to get rid of this, and instead we're going to say randomizer dot next, and it needs some parameters here. It says it needs a min value. Well, min value is 1, right? And the max value, well, max value is 100. So here we're generating a random number between 1 and 100, and I don't know what number it's going to pick out. The computer's going to pick one out, and we're going to have to guess it. So let's give it a try. Hopefully it's going to be our final run of our program, but I bet you it's going to work. So enter a number between 1 and 100. All right, I'm going to start at 50. Okay, nope, secret number is lower than your guess. All right, oh, well, I'm going to guess 25 now. All right, it's greater than it. Okay, fine. Is it 42? Nope, it's lower than 42. Well, let's try 33. And it's lower than 33. So greater than 25, lower than 33. Let's try 28. Oh, hey, I was lucky, and that was a secret number. So we now have a working application. So let's read through it top to bottom. All right. So we need everything that's inside a system. That's Microsoft's system namespace. A lot of things in C# are in system. And now I'm going to declare a new namespace. That's just kind of the way I'm organizing my code, which is the name of my project. Next, inside of that namespace, I'm going to create a class named program. This is the program that gets run when the application runs. Inside of that, we have this static void main. This is kind of a fancy signature for the main method, the method that gets called when the application runs. Okay, so now that the application is running inside of this method, we are going to create a new variable named randomizer that takes in a random instance, and we're going to set that equal to a new random. Okay, and next we're going to declare a secret number variable that's an integer, and we're going to set that equal to the result of randomizer.next 1 and 100. So randomizer.next, that generates a random number between 1 and 100 because we told it between 1 and 100. Okay, so this is going to be some random number between 1 and 100. We don't know what it's going to be. Next, we're going to declare an integer variable named guess and set it equal to 0. Okay, next we're going to start a loop, and we're going to keep going while that guess is not equal to the secret number. Well, we know we picked a number between 1 and 100, so that's never going to equal 0. So we're always going to execute at least once. Next, we're going to prompt the user to enter a number. The user is going to type in something. We're going to store that into a new string variable named guest text. We're going to write a blank line. We're going to write out what the user typed in. We'll write another blank line. Now we're going to take that guess, that string guess, and we're going to convert it into a number. Okay? And next, we're going to say, hey, was your guess exactly correct? Did it exactly equal the secret number? If it did, we'll tell the user. And if it didn't, is the number greater than the secret number? Okay, it is. Well, now we're going to print out a hint that the number is actually lower than what they guessed. If it wasn't, then we know that the secret number was actually greater than the player's guess. So we'll prompt the user again. And finally, we add this blank right line here to just add some extra spacing. Line 44 is just the end of this loop, so it's going to go back to the beginning over here on line 15, and it's going to check this new guess that the player had entered, and it's going to say, like, hey, now did they get it right? Oh, they didn't? Okay, we'll go through the loop again. Oh, well, is it right now? Well, yeah, okay, well, now it's going to execute whatever's after line 44, which happens to be nothing. And so because nothing is there, the method ends. The program ends in this case, because that's how console applications work. They have a main method, and when the main method ends, the console application ends. So that is really programming in a nutshell in C# programming. There's a lot more to programming this. This is actually just materials from some of what we teach on the first week of our 14-week program. If you are interested in learning more, I would go out to techelevator.com, and I would look for this Learn to Code button. It may be different by the time you're reviewing this, and that has articles by several of my colleagues. But you can look on here, you can find all sorts of other resources, videos from my esteemed colleagues. You can even take assessment tests to see if programming is right for you. However you want to learn programming, I really encourage you to do it. It's a lot of fun. It's a very creative effort. It's hard. There's a lot to learn. It's a very broad field, a very deep field, but it's also a very rewarding field. So I hope that you investigate it more. I hope you've enjoyed this series. Please reach out if you have any questions. My email is matt.eland@techelevator.com. I'll actually just write that out in Notepad over here, or in my system over here. So that's matt.eland@techelevator.com. So if you want to get in touch with me, please drop us a line. But honestly, going out to this Learn to Code resources is really a great way to keep your journey going and to keep learning more. But once again, thank you for watching, and happy coding.